My name is Evie, and I'll be talking about career exploration. I researched 5 different careers, and so I'll be talking about each of those. The first career I researched is social work, and that is actually my major right now at Winona State. I answered the question, what is a social worker? A social worker counsels and aids individuals and families with problems relating to personal and family adjustments, finances, employment, food, clothing, housing, or other human needs and conditions. There are direct service social workers, and those are social workers who deal with everyday live things. And then there's also clinical social workers, which is what I'm interested in more. And they diagnose and treat mental, behavioral, and emotional issues. The education for a social worker is usually a bachelor's degree. And that has to be from an accredited college or university. Many social workers go on to also do their master's degree. After education, once you graduate, you have to pass a test for all social workers, and then you also have to have additional supervised hours, which depends on the state you live in, and that's just kind of like an internship or something, which you have to do before you can actually be a social worker. And that just kind of provides you with real-world experience. The wages of a social worker are about $45,000 annually, so that could be compared to a teacher or something like that. The growth rate for social workers is about 25%, which is pretty fast compared to other careers. And there are about 3,000 jobs currently open in the United States. The top hirer for social workers is the government, both at state and local levels. Important skills for a social worker are social perceptiveness, so that's just being aware of people's feelings or thoughts, and also their needs. There's also social service orientation, and that's just seeing other people's needs and wanting to help them with that. There's also speaking, so talking to others and being able to communicate with them effectively. And then also active listening, and a big part of being a social worker is listening to other people's problems or what they need from you. There's also problem identification, which is just knowing the needs of someone who you're trying to help. The next career I'm going to talk about is a marriage and family therapist. This is probably the career most like a social worker that I researched, and a marriage and family therapist is someone who works with a family or a couple to overcome problems that they're facing together. They often use a constructive approach to just encourage the family members to identify the feelings and behaviors associated with their problems. Most of the work of a marriage and family therapist is done in an office. There are also marriage and family therapists who work in their clients' homes or in a church or some other religious setting. The education of a marriage and family therapist is kind of like a social worker. You do a lot of counseling classes and stuff like that. It can be completed in a 4-year bachelor's term, but many marriage and family therapists go on to get their master's degree as well. And just like social workers, they need an internship or residency program too, so it's just a required number of hours that they need to complete before they can practice on their own. Wages and outlook of a marriage and family therapist. Top industries that employ marriage and family therapists are individual and family services, outpatient care centers, and the state and local government. Currently there are about 2,000 job openings in the United States, and 30 of those are in Minnesota. And similar to the social worker also, marriage and family therapists make $45,000 to $50,000 annually. The next career I'm going to talk about is a professor. just because I would probably specialize in being like a social work professor or something like that. Just that also interested me. So there are many things that a professor does other than just lecture to students. They also do a lot of research outside their job and just to stay current on the information that they have to teach. They stimulate class discussions. They have to grade all their examinations. And then also they're often student advisors or like heads of a student committee or something like that. Since professors need to know so much about what they're teaching, they normally have a doctoral or professional degree. However, there are about 35% of the professors out there who teach only with their master's degree. Because they need a little more schooling, they make a little more money, about $65,000 annually. This job is increasing at about a 13% growth rate, and there are currently about 58,000 professors being employed in this field. The next profession I'm going to talk about is a wedding planner, and this is kind of just a dream I've always had. I thought it'd be fun. And this is also called like an event planner. When I was doing a lot of my research, that's what I found. So they consult with customers to find out like what exactly they need to do to put on the certain event, which in this case would be a wedding. They have to figure out like how much the couple is willing to spend, stuff like that. They just need to bring everything together for the wedding. And that includes like getting everyone to the wedding on time and selecting the place they're going to meet and all that stuff. Most wedding planners complete their bachelor's degree. Some colleges and universities actually offer a degree that is in event planning. You also need to know about like business and stuff like that, so you're prepared to handle the money side of everything, I guess. Some skills you need to know as a wedding planner are administrative skills, management, just coordinating and organizing everything, I think, is a big part of it. And then negotiation when things might not go right or something. You also need a strong sense of design and fashion just to offer that knowledge to your customers. And then knowledge of religions, because a lot of weddings are religious experiences. Wedding planners make about $45,000 per year, but that varies a lot just depending on like what venue you're going for, I guess, because some wedding planners can make over $300,000 a year depending on where they live, I guess. This is growing very fast. It's about 30 to 40% growth. I guess there's just a lot more demand in the industry. The career currently employs about 70,000 people. The next and final career that we're going to talk about is a small business owner. A small business owner is someone who manages his or her own organization. These entrepreneurs can be found within all industries, including retail, entertainment, financial services, and law. I kind of focused on the retail side of it because I was just thinking like being a boutique owner or something like that. So since you are owning your own business, no one's really hiring you, so you don't necessarily need a formal education, but many business owners do have at least their bachelor's degree. Some colleges offer something really specific like a small business administrative management major, but you can also just go for like a business major. Some skills that are important for this job are being able to make plans, solve problems, train and hire people, and then motivate and lead your employees. A little bit of a hard part of this job would be that many small businesses don't even make it past their first 5 years just because it's so hard to start a business. But if you do make it, you're making around $50,000 to $120,000 a year, and that also can vary a lot depending on what industry you're in. This is a job that's growing slower than in the past, but it still provides most of the jobs and goods out there. And then these are my sources.